whitewater. Whether it's rapids on smaller rivers or big water in the Grand Canyon, it's an element of nature that has thrilled me nearly all my life. It seems foreboding, treacherous, even dangerous and foolhardy to step in the ring with a powerful and formidable adversary and toy with it purely for recreation. For many people, it is a thrilling challenge to actually develop skills and learn how to effectively run rapids. It doesn't have to be a crapshoot of survival and luck. That's how I like it, being able to learn the skills to face a challenge, to know and control where I'm going, and to have the maximum fun doing it. Essentially, living life to the max. And there's no better place for all that to come together than on Wisconsin's Wolf River.
The water coming off of that wall is pushing this way. You won't even get near that wall.
At first, I thought it was kind of scary, but then when we went to the second one, I started to like it.
When the water is coming up against the rock wall like that, it's got what's called a pillow and a diagonal curler. It's actually not going to let you get near that. Water's billowing up on that and pushing this way, which means if that rock is going to push us away from the rooster tail down there, that rock wall is also going to push us away.
Dan Monsky was a pretty good guide. Like, he knows rivers like reading a book.
You're guaranteed virtually the same route with everybody. It's just, if you're pointed straight downstream, you've got a greater chance of successfully running it than you do if you're out of control going this way or that way.
When you first look at it, it's incredible. You think, holy moly, I don't know about this one.
Something else to be aware of is whoever's in back is going to be in the front seat at the bottom. Why? Because of the way the raft's going to launch off of that, it's going to send the person in back, the back of the raft, to the front. This is like the graduation ceremony, all the action culminating with this.
Oh, but there's so much more to the learning process and the river experience before people are ready for the big action.
There was some fear I know that I had going in, taking my little daughter down a river that we don't know what it is.
You start small, you look and learn, and make a plan.
So we ought to be able to pick out our line from here. Right. We're gonna wanna go right over the middle of that hump and land at the bottom of the drop. You can see the current running downstream right there, the heavy flow.
Yeah.
Okay, we wanna be just to the right of that.
Developing a plan is only part of the adventure. The execution of that plan is the test. Actually facing the adrenaline pumping action in the raft.
Great, let's do it.
Yeah, let's run it.
The only place to find an answer to that test is at the bottom of the drop. And when you're right, there's a feeling of elation and excitement from your success.
When you come up against those rapids, it feels pretty wild. It definitely does. I'm really surprised that there is this kind of whitewater in Wisconsin. I had no idea. One of the things that's really remarkable to me about rafting is how forgiving these watercraft are. I mean, you can make all kinds of mistakes and still get through in the raft, upright, and without very severe consequences.
That makes whitewater rafting a perfect activity for practicing and developing new and challenging skills.
Dan has ran rivers, all over the world. And the kids, I think, really looked up to him and respected his experience. And they also came out of the experience with a lot of knowledge about the river and which part of the rapids will give you the best ride, and about the importance of safety. And they would have opportunities to ask questions from someone who had experience and knew what he was talking about, and help them have just a better experience on the water.
It's about maximizing the experience, any experience that makes a paddler seek the best line in a rapid, or makes someone seek the most intense thrill, the most fun, or even the most interesting and educational path through life. Something emotional easily happens inside us when an experience is of great intensity.
Dan, once he saw a rapid coming up, we'd pull over to the side and we would go up into the trees and we would scout out the whole rapids and see where would be a good way to go down without getting hurt or falling out or anything. It helped me know how the rapids are going to be and how to control the raft and where to go. I just learned about myself that if I really put my heart into it, I could do it. But you get to parts where there's big rapids and you start losing your control, and once we went down the falls, I just fell out.
They're just about to come to the drop. Here they go.
Having Dan along just made it a whole different experience for us because he's an expert at whitewater, he's an expert rafter, kayaker, and knows how to read the river.
The river is like any subject. Studying it, particularly the rapids, not just running them, is essential to learning how to read the river.
Just the idea of getting out, being safe, getting out, seeing a drop coming, you see that horizon line, get out and check it out. Don't just blindly plunge over this thing and hope for the best. And that was just a great lesson for them in any outdoor adventure and in anything they do really in life.
A lesson given in an interesting classroom environment about developing good judgment and to learn about safety and how to have fun.
At first I thought it would be so much better just to like do it, like get it over with, go, because I was really scared. But then we saw the guy in the canoe that went down that like capsized or whatever, and that made me realize how important it was that Dan had his scouting.
It's really scary, like the first time you go down because you have no idea what's coming up. We scouted before it, but it's different because when you're coming up to it, it's just a drop off, so you can't see what's coming, so you're just looking and the water just stops, it just ends. You just drop down, like there's nothing holding you in your raft, so you can just fly out. I almost did fly out. I actually hit the girl in front of me, and had she not been sitting there, I think I would have flown all the way out. But even though it looks really scary and really dangerous and you don't think that you could ever like survive, it's really fun. It's like the most funnest thing you could ever imagine.
It was really scary at first seeing how long the rapid was and then how the drop off kind of was at the end, but I just felt probably more safe than everybody else did because I was with Dan on that rapid. Once you had it scouted out and figured out what you were doing, it wasn't as scary anymore, and then when you actually did it, it was really fun.
I learned a lot like about how you have to get out and look. Like that was like the biggest thing. Like you can't just go at life running full speed. Like it wasn't just for rafting either. Like you have to know what you're doing.
Knowledge is important, but there's an idea I consider critical for anyone to learn because a passion makes us come back for more adrenaline pumping action.
Nice run, man! Life to the max! Woo!
Life to the Max is brought to you by Life Touch. Photography for a lifetime.